And if none of those people have jobs, then they won't have the money to afford the
Bingo.
thing that you're selling. So
That's
go ahead.
that's where the
Right.
economics breaks. That's
That's
where
where it
the whole
breaks
thing
down.
breaks.
Exactly. Right. Because, you eliminate all those jobs, you eliminate all those people. None of those people are making money. You're able to produce a product incredibly cheap, but nobody has a job, then nobody can buy your product. So where are you? And if nobody can buy your product, you as the CEO who spent $57 million on, the subscriptions to all these people that promised all this stuff, you no longer have the $57 million to spend on the subscription that, you took out. And if they don't get their subscription, they go out of business too. And so,
Isn't that the rub, right? I mean,
right,
that the whole thing, and this is
it collapses. House of
this is
cards.
the problem. It is a house of cards, and this is my other concern. So it's not going to take very long. Again, I've seen these things over time in my lifetime, and I know what they look like. And this is going to play out the same way. Everybody poo-pooed the internet, and I'll never put my credit card in there, and that's crazy talk. And and now almost nobody buys anything except with a credit card through, Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
so although naysayers and the poo-pooers are having their moment that this is hallucinating and it's blah, 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 but that's not how it's going to end up. It's going to get better, going to get way better. It's inevitable.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be overwhelmingly better than a lot of what we can do as humans. And we're not going to be competitive. And you're going to begin to eliminate professions like computer science. I would argue right now that anybody who majors in computer science is making a mistake, right? I mean, so you have literally computer science programs all over the world that I would argue in 5 years are going to have to struggle to get enrollment. And what happens to the downstream effect of this? It's not like AI is going to come for those professors' jobs one-on-one, right? An AI isn't going to deliver that professor's work in that computer science department. The AI is just going to eliminate the revenue because nobody's going to want to go to spend money for that degree. And so all those computer science professors are going to be impacted by the downstream effect that AI is going to have on their occupation.
Mm-hmm. And then 3 or 4 generations later, we'll have people that don't even know their times tables past 4 times 4.
I just saw some note that said that that most clocks in schools are being replaced by digital. The analog face clock is being replaced by digital clocks because students can't use. They don't know what the time.
Oh my goodness!
How to tell the time.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because I've seen some kids that don't even know how to read cursive handwriting.
Right. Well, and again, it's like, do we need to? Are we not basically going to evolve as well, where we will have things in our ears that can potentially, when you're traveling in another country, can hear the language being spoken to you and interpret it on the fly, and you can respond to them, and they'll have a translation. You don't even need to know their language, and you can have a perfectly cogent conversation. Like, that sounds like a good future to me. You don't need to learn a new language.
Yeah, exactly. And that's if that weren't possible, then Captain Kirk wouldn't be able to talk to Klingons, and right? Worf would never have made it on the Starship Enterprise with Captain Picard if it weren't for the Universal Translator. So that's just it. People who poo-poo the tool, all right, don't recognize the fact that there are gobs of benefits. I see a ton of benefits, but at the same time, just because morphine is a wonderful thing. But if you keep a bottle of it and take a few nips here and there, you're going to screw yourself up and you'll get addicted.
I mean, these kids that are walking around all day long with their face in a screen, I
Oh,
see them
yeah.
all over the place. They're walking down the street
Right.
with their face in a screen.
And going like
They
this
can't
all the time.
put it
Yeah.
down. They literally in front of me, and it was one of my pet peeves, they stop at a stoplight and they immediately look down and they don't see the light turning green because they're immediately looking at their screen. That is a recent phenomenon, but that is not going away.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not gonna go away, and so what's coming is kinda non-negotiable. We're going to become lazy, like, we
Right.
don't use maps because we have a map that tells us
Yeah,
where to
a
go. I mean, we're
GPS, you
gonna
can't
become
read
lazy.
a map, yeah, right,
We
and
are.
that's the whole thing that I'm advocating against is enjoy the tool, use the tool, but don't let the tool I'm afraid that if we get too overly dependent, we're going to become stagnant, okay, and it's not a replacement, it's an enhancement, and we get back to what I said earlier about, creativity do you want it to be stimulated or do you want it to be stagnated? Right? We let it be stagnant, and what do we become? We ourselves become stagnant. We ourselves, constantly, we become again, going back to the mindless automatons. That the human. I just don't see a lot of hope for the human race if it continues along that
Well,
path.
but don't we, I mean, isn't that the human condition that we just ultimately seek comfort? That's what we've always sought, and if we didn't
True.
have to work, I mean, I would argue
Yeah,
that if
who
we didn't
would
have
if you
to
didn't
work,
have to?
we wouldn't work
Yeah.
if we didn't have to. That
I
we
would rather yeah, I would
if we
rather
could just
watch TV than,
or travel
yeah,
the world. I
or
mean, if we
tra
had
yeah, right.
if we didn't have to, we wouldn't work. We do it because we monetize our time in exchange for the comfort that we can buy, the housing, the clothing, the warmth, the transportation, the freedom that it
Mhm.
enables us to have
Sure.
is why we work at all. It's a
Yeah.
value exchange.
It is,
And
and part of that freedom, though, is also being able to communicate with your fellow man, to be able to exchange ideas, to be able to have an intelligent conversation like you and I are having right now. What's going to happen if we do become so daggum overly dependent upon these tools, then cognitive reasoning that I see the deterioration of the ability to proceed on a coherent pattern of thought. Yeah, when
there's no question about it. This is a
yeah,
cognitive replacement. This is
right.
commoditizing cognition. This is what this does.
Oh,
It
I
gives
like that.
all the answers are free.
Yeah,
Every answer is
and it's
free
right
to
in
you
front of you instantly, but it
instantly.
may
And
not even
so,
be the right answer because you Google, what
well,
if you don't check it out?
but it will be.
Well,
That's the thing.
true,
Like
true. It's
it will
yeah,
be. It will be. It's just like credit cards weren't going to be secure on the internet. They will be, and it will be. It will be right.
true,
It
true.
we can't doubt that. And so then it comes back to the question that I always used to ask in high school is like, do I need to know this? Like, do I need to know this?
The
Really?
difference between a sine and a cosine and a
Right. When am I going to
tangent and
ever
yeah,
need this in my
geometry,
future? Like, do
right.
I need to know this? And honestly, I think kids are going to have a hard time, squaring the circle of why do I need to go to college? What am I going to learn in college that I won't have access to? Like, you don't have the secret information anymore that I need in
Right.
order
You
to
yeah,
succeed.
you can ask
I have
Claude
all
or
the
Copilot
information,
or
more
whatever.
information than you'll ever teach me in my
Mhm.
phone now.
But somebody's gotta provide that practical experience. Who's gonna show you how to replace the compressor in your refrigerator or the, heating element in the dryer in your house, I mean, "Yeah, well, watch a YouTube video." Okay, well, somebody had to create the YouTube video. "Oh, well, it'll be an AI doing it, it'll be an AI generated character doing it." Yeah, but somebody has to show the AI character how to do it. Yeah, and I don't know, we've got to retain stop the insanity, I say, and, retain your humanity.